Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode 141.
Aroo!
I'm Chris, and joining me today are...
Ames.
Caitlin.
Jakey!
Jakey's here.
And today we will be discussing episodes Jetrel...
Jetrel?
Episodes Jetrel and Learning Curve. And then we'll be wrapping Season 1, because it's somehow already over.
Very short season.
Rapping?
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Season 1 and it sure was short. That's all I got.
Should have been Season 1 and it sure is done. That rhymes.
But short is what it was.
And done.
If you want to hear more Star Trek rapping, find yourself a copy of Free Enterprise, where at the end, William Shatner raps some Shakespeare monologue. I forget which one.
That sounds excellent.
Sounds terrible. Terribly excellent.
It sounds like it sounds like it's simultaneously both.
Alright, I accept that.
First up in Jetrel, they're playing pool on the holodeck, and Mr. Neelix calls a safety. And then Mr. Tuvok isn't aware that a pool table he's been playing on for several minutes now has a weird tilt, so he scratches. Then Neelix gets called to the bridge because someone's asking about him, which is strange. And it turns out it's psychotic mass murderer scientist Jetrel, who invented some kind of Omega device. What was it called? The
Metreon cloud?
Yes,
Cascade?
the Metreon Cascade, which basically wiped out the vast majority of life on a Talaxian moon that Neelix's family lived on. Wait, how is Neelix still here? Well, turns out he was on the planet at the time, he says, with the Defense Forces, but it turns out hiding from them because he didn't want to get drafted, which frankly, fair. Anyway, Neelix doesn't want to talk to this guy because, killed a shitload of his people plus his whole family, and also Talaxia eventually lost the war, so his homeworld was conquered by these people. Reasonable. But then Dr. Dude is like, apparently Neelix was part of the rescue teams that went there, so he might have disease from lingering Metreon radiation. So, please tell him I need to study his stuff. And Neelix is like, fuck you, but it could help me, cure your people. And he's like, shit. So there's tests and recriminations and arguments, and turns out Neelix is dying of this Metreon disease, but then again, so is Dr. Dickhead.
Dr. Dickhead.
And he's like, if we can go to the planet and teleport a bit of the cloud, I might be able to make an antibody. Janeway's like, okie dokie. And they get there, and then it's like, actually, I'm scheming. And everyone's like, oh, fuck, what's actually going on now? And it turns out the crazy bastard thinks he can save the dead by using the transporter to reassemble their bits and bobs, because vaporization is basically step one of a teleporter, so...
Not wrong.
Yeah. And it doesn't work, but it works more than it should have. And then he immediately dies.
And we stop any research into this.
Yeah, and
fly away immediately.
Neelix, having gotten some weird advice from Cass, forgives him right before he dies. And that's the episode.
It's quite wild that in season 1 of Voyager, they give some fucking meaty substance to Neelix.
Yeah.
I was amazed at all the different monologuing he got to do.
Yeah, it also, I had very vaguely recalled, even when we were talking about it in Phage, where I was like, why aren't they acting like maybe just looking for other Talaxians for a transplant isn't an option? And even at the time, I was like, I think there's something up with Talax, but I don't quite remember, and I'm not going to bring it up. And, so apparently they are part of some other government now, first of all, and, so we don't know. I mean, there was never any warfare on the planet proper, but, yeah, maybe just dropping by and asking for a lung wouldn't have been that easy.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people must have metremia.
Well, does it?
Yeah, because he admits, Neelix doesn't have it. It was just a ruse to...
Oh, right, but he has metremia.
But he worked with this shit a lot
Okay,
when he
that's fair.
produced.
Yeah, it makes
it'd be
sense
like
that he
you know,
would.
like the Los Alamos guys, you know,
Yeah.
getting radiation exposure.
Or that cursed movie.
What?
Cursed movie?
I can't think of the title right now, but it was some Western. And they unfortunately were filming downwind from a New Mexico testing site in like the
Ooh.
50s.
Womp womp.
And so like some absurdly high amount of the cast and crew eventually came down with cancer.
Oh shit.
And it killed most of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So yeah, I thought this was actually quite good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It sort of, kind of explains a lot about Neelix.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, I put on this facade because holy shit, I have some severe survivor's guilt and PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course, never to be heard from again. And just,
Spoilers.
back to his old Neelix-y self, but yeah.
But we'll know it's in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was the weird scene with him and Cass.
Yeah,
where
that's
he's
the
like,
one thing.
He's like, well, I'm sure glad I'm going to die before you.
Oh, that. No, that was weird in a different way.
Because I'll be sad if you died before me.
That was weird, but also felt like it didn't feel necessarily, I mean, it was a stupid thing to say, but it didn't feel inappropriate in that, like, the kind of guy he is, like, he's like, I'm going to find the silver lining, and I'm going to put my foot in it while I do. Because that feels sort of like his thing. The thing I found weird was later when she's, after he's had his nightmare, and he's sitting there, and they're talking towards the end, and she's like, maybe you're angry at yourself. And it's like, look.
You can be mad at both.
Yeah,
Quite a lot.
like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure, yes, a lot of it is the survivor's guilt, and the, like, I dodged the draft, although, frankly, he probably was right to, and all this other stuff, but, like, he can still, some of that anger can totally still be directed at Dr. Oppenheimer there, like...
For sure.
Like, let's not act like this guy didn't invent a doomsday device. Oh, boy, and him, just like, science, we do it all, and let God sort it out. Like, okay, crazy person.
Yeah, I was thinking about the draft dodging admitting scene, and just like how for a little while I was like, wow, does this episode really need this scene? Because there's already a lot going on between Jetrel and Neelix as two people, who've been impacted by this horrible, horrible thing in different ways. And, is it possible to forgive Jetrel? Is it possible for all of this to get swept under the rug somehow? And I kept thinking, like, man, this whole draft dodging thing is distracting from that. But then I slept on it, and I realized this morning, like, no, I think this is the reason why it's possible for Neelix to say, I forgive you, on Jetrel's deathbed. Whether or not he means it, which I think it's mostly, like, this is the thing he needed to say in the moment.
Yeah. And
I think it's also a little bit him making it possible to forgive himself.
Yeah.
I think that's what that whole scene kind of ended up...
Yeah.
Why that ended up working for me.
Yeah.
And now the draft dodging thing, I'm like, yeah, no, this belongs in this episode.
That was the one thing I wish we got a little more of, was like, because at first, I guess it makes sense, though, because we're getting it from Neelix's point of view. And when he's first talking, it just kind of sounds like what was the other species called? I forget.
Haconians.
Right, the Haconians just kind of steamed in and conquered them. But then when he's talking about the draft or whatever, he's like, I felt we were fighting for the wrong reasons. It's like, okay, so whatever started this war, it wasn't just these people were coming in to conquer. This was some sort of mutual hatred.
Well, I mean, it could have for all we know, the Talaxians were the aggressors in the war.
Yeah, so it was an interesting turn, though, I thought, because the way, again, it started, it sounded one way, but again, it's Neelix telling the story. And it's still Neelix later, but it's when he's, being more honest.
Also, super harsh that the penalty for draft dodging is death.
I think...
It's like, either go die on the field or we'll kill you. Damn it.
See, the penalty for draft dodging should be getting drafted.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You'd think, just like, we
it's
found
just...
you. There you go.
Because then you have fewer soldiers after you've killed draft
As
dodgers.
I say, you just put them in a unit that's front line that they're basically guaranteed to get killed anyway.
Basically make
cannon
the
fodder.
Suicide Squad real.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like if you draft dodge, maybe you shouldn't be able to hold office.
There's an idea.
If you draft dodge, we smooth out your penis nose.
Weird.
Actually, here's the thing. Every, political draft dodger did it in a quote-unquote legal way, so...
Yeah.
Actually, I guess
I
the
said
thing
what
is...
I said.
No, I know, and I get it, and it's funny, but we have to change the rules.
Neelix and his bone spurs.
They have the same hair.
I guess, theoretically, if you know someone doesn't want to serve, like, you're not going to send them to the front line because they're either just going to do a shit job, see next episode, or
get killed.
They might just use an opportunity to run the fuck off again, Like, it's maybe something you're not going to trust with duties.
I guess in a lot of armies, I don't know if it's still the case now, but armies of days past, desertion was a death penalty thing.
Yeah.
War is terrible.
Oh yeah, no, it's a horrid idea thought up by awful people.
Yeah. And I guess, like, if it's intended to just be a deterrent, which is probably why it is that way, like, oh, I guess I'll join the army.
What was that?
So what occurred to me in this show is that we have this character, Jetrel. He is a scientist who's done some questionable research.
Yep.
And he's also like an enemy sort of enemy guy who's alienated his family and sort of betrayed his people in a way because he's, going to go and try to do this thing. So did they just take the two previous characters that this actor played and combine them to make... Because the same actor played Jerok and Mara Pole.
Although I think this was before he'd played Pole.
No, couldn't be.
I think it might be.
Really?
I think... Because I remember very vaguely when we were talking about the Mara Pole episodes of DS9, saying like, oh yeah, it was going to be weird that this guy was playing characters like in like almost like sequential episodes when they would have been airing.
Oh, that's right. So they were around the same time.
I remember them being around the same time. I don't remember which came first. I'd have to look at dates, and I don't feel like it.
He was also...
Utar.
Yeah, travel back in time, Alexander Rozhenko.
Yeah, well, that's less relevant to
it is, but
and also,
it was so funny that he was him as well.
Yeah, I was close to saying, like, man, every episode that James Sloyan touches is gold. Oh, not that one, though. Sorry, buddy. Not your fault. You did a great job.
I don't remember being extraordinarily bad either,
though. But like, the Defector and Mara Pole stuff are all very good stuff.
That's true.
But it just seems interesting though that like this guy's somewhat been typecast here as both a mad scientist and a regretful patriot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it was interesting. There's an interesting like debate there. Obviously they're slamming you on the head with the nuclear bomb allegory.
Yeah.
Goodness, yes.
It's funny because Pillar claims it wasn't about about the Hiroshima.
Please.
Jerry Taylor basically says, like, it's pretty clear that's what it is. In fact, they, like, gave Jetrel, like, some Oppenheimer lines that were actually more or less said.
What did Pillar claim it was about? Did he say?
No, he just said sometimes, I mean, not all the episodes are commentary. Some of them are just, about plots that happen.
Yeah, and Tolkien says The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings aren't about World Wars 1 and 2, but...
See Exhibit A.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty... That's...
Here's the thing. If the writer didn't mean it, on some level it was, even if they didn't realize what they were doing.
There's no way they didn't, right? If they didn't, they're idiots.
Oh, yeah.
That's...
Yeah, the fact that one of the writers, and I didn't write down who, but one of them even was quoted saying, like, yeah, I was doing a bunch of research into the effects of all the radiation in Japan, and ended up kind of horrifying themselves about, like, oh god, this is what I'm talking about in my script, and I don't even want to look at this.
Well, and and again, similarly, like, they used the cascade on a basically purely civilian target, which I think either one or both of the targets of the nuclear bomb in World War II were not like military targets.
Yeah, they were just.
I thought neither of them were. They were just.
I don't quite remember. It was probably both, but like I don't think either had strategic importance or major like factories or anything. It was strictly an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Talaxians surrendered the next day.
Oh yeah, so did Japan pretty much. I think.
Yeah. Well, it was like so they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, and everyone was horrified, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, it was a day or two later, right?
They'll call any minute now. We're gonna get the call from Emperor, whoever makes the call, and they're gonna tell us we surrender. They didn't call, and it's because the Japanese were like, holy shit, that weapon was unfucking believable. There's no way they have more than one of them, right? And they're like, no, they couldn't build more than one of those.
Oh shit, is that true?
I've heard. I don't know if that's true. I've heard that.
You know, it is true.
Holy shit.
There's a man who was in both cities and survived both times. Perhaps unsurprisingly, spent the remainder of his life as an anti-nuclear weapons activist.
And playing the lottery every day.
And actually
Which he won 3 times.
Only passed away in the last couple of years at extremely old.
That's
so.
amazing.
But, like, yeah, no, I think he's, yeah. Like, so that makes you both the luckiest and unluckiest man alive. It's like, well, I saw that twice.
I'm surprised didn't really come up very much. You often hear from, like, nuclear bomb apologists that, it saved more lives than it cost.
Yeah.
Because, invasion of Japan would have been catastrophic for both sides.
Yeah, they would have just kept killing and yada.
Yeah, and that's often the line used.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear that so much in this episode as like, the reason we used the cascade was because it was...
Yeah, I would say there's like an equivalent when I think Neelix says like, "Are you even sorry?" and Jetrel says, like the Oppenheimer quote is, "Yes, I feel guilty, but I don't regret it." And I feel like Jetrel said something similar to that, like it needed to be done or something like that.
Yeah, ultimately we get very little about the facts of the war from this, so we're left to fill a lot in ourselves.
Which I guess, is not quite the point of the episode.
Yeah.
But it leaves me wanting, I think, to...
In a good way or a bad way?
I don't know. It's hard to say because...
in an ultimately unfulfilled way?
As a viewer of the show, I'm predisposed to...
hate Neelix.
Well, to hate Neelix, but as he's a main character, to assume that the Talaxians, were under the yoke of the Hakonians, or whatever they're called.
I keep wanting to say the
Harkonnens.
The Harkonnens.
I said the same thing while we were watching it. I was like, that sounds a lot
and I
like
think
their hair isn't red enough.
And like I think they could have added more to...
Where's Sting?
To Jetrel's, to make him a little... If they wanted to make him more sympathetic.
I don't think they did.
I think they wanted to, though.
They already had his wife leave him.
Right, which I think is like, okay, whatever.
He already has the disease.
And like the thing is, like, Neelix claps back right away. It's like, oh, your wife left you. Well, my fucking family got charred, you piece of shit!
Yeah.
That's exactly what Neelix said.
That was a good Neelix moment, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant his impression was
That was also good.
I was like, yeah, it's exactly what he sounded like.
I liked him telling his story about his rat trap while he was getting scanned.
Oh, yeah, that was
Neelix,
so heavy-handedly brilliant.
Oh, Neelix is really good at, like, he could be a Catholic mom.
Are you done? Yes. So am I.
But yeah, no, it's interesting because again, it just feels like, yeah, of course they're the Talaxians, but in reality, the only representatives we've had so far are Neelix and the rat-faced guy in Faces.
The prisoner on the Vidian
that no one offers to save.
Maybe that rat-faced guy was the guy that Neelix caught in his rat trap.
See, like, what if we found out, like, Talaxians were, like, the fucking Nazis of this area of space?
That's what I mean. Like,
pieces of shit.
They leave just enough vague that it's like it's amazing. Because again, because of who we've met, it's a shock to think that, like, they were at war with anyone willingly, but it sounds like it was probably pretty willingly.
Yeah, like Neelix is like some kind of a pacifist, and he
or a coward, or both, and would have gotten his ass killed if he got caught. So I mean, these are people that killed their own people for refusing to fight. Maybe they're not so good guys.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they deserved the cascade.
Oh God, no!
That's fucked up. But at the same time, we don't know. Like maybe it was maybe the whole motivation behind Jetrel was like, we're on the brink of being annihilated by the Talaxians.
We have to do something.
And it almost there's a really. Oh, I was going to say, there's a really good episode of some show, and then I realized it's a really good episode of Voyager that we haven't watched yet.
Oh,
so I won't mention it.
Yay! Remember this for when we hit it, and you certainly won't.
Yeah, 50-50 chance. But, or maybe one of us will.
Nope, almost certainly not.
Will, but yeah, I think it's really, I think, a strength of it that they leave so much vague.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, this is probably the first time we're not, because it's Star Trek, you look at Neelix and Rat Dude, and you're like, all right, I've got a handle on Talaxians. I guess we don't.
Yeah.
It sounds like they are not
here than meets
a
the
monolith.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
no, it
sick
is.
of monolith cultures.
Yeah,
really.
it is a weakness of Star Trek that just kind of always exists, but, you know, hopefully if we ever do meet more, I genuinely don't remember. Hopefully they don't, like, go back on this. Hopefully they're a bit more nuanced.
Yeah, if they're all just Neelix clones, forget it.
Yeah. You know, like, maybe we will meet some real prick ones someday.
Yeah.
And other ones.
Well, I'd like to find out, like, Neelix is, like, being hunted by the Talaxian security forces.
Yeah.
For, like, because he was a serial killer.
I mean,
would it surprise you?
About Neelix?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit. It would be weird to be a pacifist in the war and then be a serial killer.
Human trafficker.
Let's not
if
anymore.
he's any kind of criminal, he's like a weed guy. One of those things where it's like, yeah, it's illegal, but you're like, you're really gonna spend this much energy on trying to arrest him? Like, worse shit is happening. But I do wonder, like, can he not? Well, no, that's the weird part. He dodged the war, but then was able to be part of the rescue forces. So, like, they seem to have stopped caring pretty quickly.
Well, they had just suffered a horrible atrocity.
True.
I bet you everything that came before goes out the window when you're trying to survive.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, how about that makeup job on Cass in his dream? Oof.
The makeup was good. I hate dream sequences. You guys know this.
Yeah. What? I don't remember.
She was playing Talaxia.
Right. You're right. She was. Yeah. Somehow forgot that.
I joked that I thought her wig was better than her usual one.
Because it was burnt to a crisp?
Yeah, that's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, the dream sequence I could done without, a little heavy-handed.
I can always do without a dream sequence.
Yeah, they're pretty much never. I think the only one I ever liked, and I'm sure you didn't, was Quark having his meeting with the first Grand
that
Nagus.
One was so ridiculous.
Ironically,
I didn't like that.
Played by Rom in retrospect, which I couldn't say at the
Ernie
time.
Something or other? No,
Ernie.
Max.
Max Grodenchik.
That's it.
Grodenchik. Yeah, I couldn't say it at the time. I was like, oh, it's funny. He's playing the first Nagus, and he's gonna end up as the Nagus.
Well, you can say it now.
But yeah, they're usually pointless.
Yeah, if not for that dream sequence, I would like really, really like this episode. But I feel like, oh, damn it, this is here. Son of a bitch. We already get that Neelix is conflicted over this. We don't need to be wanged over the head with it.
Nope, sorry, hold still. We're gonna hit you in the over the head with it real quick.
Never watched Twin Peaks.
I've seen Twin Peaks. It's fucking ridiculous.
I never have. I just know there's a lot of bizarre dream sequences.
Kyle MacLachlan's great in it, though.
That's true. He's got that hair.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that sound meant.
Imagine running his balls through Kyle MacLachlan's hair.
His balls through his hair?
Oh, yeah. Hair balls. Hairy balls.
Oh, so the EMH can control his deactivation now.
Oh, yeah.
I said that too.
But
I was like,
he has
did
to
it.
say an extra thing. Like,
he does.
It still works. That's what matters.
But he can't control his activation. He can only be activated.
How would that even work?
I wonder.
Because he wouldn't know.
Does time pass for the Doctor when he's offline, you think?
I don't know. It depends upon his state.
Like, actually, no, I do not believe it does. I think when he's offline,
Do we see a moment at some time where he's turned off, turned back on, and he assumes no time has passed, but a lot of time has passed?
There is something like that.
Is it Living Witness?
It is Living Witness.
I love Living Witness. We'll talk about Living Witness soon.
Really?
Is it next season?
No, I think season 3 or 4.
It's not.
So not that soon.
But we're going to.
It's after Jerry Ryan joins the cast. So.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder though if he has like can he sort of like, well, is it like say a laptop? You know, you can set the screen to turn off, and then you can set it to fully kind of like go into sleep mode later. So does he have levels like that? It's like when he's first turned off, he's kind of on for a bit. He can kind of calculate shit if he wants, and then eventually he goes into full sleep. Or
there's some good horrifying transporter shit this episode.
Oh my god, more horrifying transporter shit.
Who doesn't love horrifying transporter shit?
Chris doesn't.
The friggin' the person that's being beamed up and like...
Oh. This is that person's been conscious since I don't know if they had consciousness at all, but the first day they've been nearly partly assembled.
Well, right, and as far as they're concerned, they're still living through that horrible thing that killed them, probably, right?
I imagine they're not conscious in the cloud, hopefully.
Well, that's true, right?
I also imagine they were vaporized immediately.
Well, here's the
Thank
thing, right?
God.
So they would have had to have been at least like nanoseconds before being vaporized. They, it would have been instantaneous, so it would have like had to cut through them, right? Like there'd be a wave of energy that just.
Yep.
Yeah, but instantaneous versus like that long. Is
Well,
still...
right. Well, that's what I mean. But what I'm saying is, if you restored them, what state would you be? Would they be halfway burned already?
Oh Jesus!
Like would
Yeah, but all the burned stuff is also in the cloud.
right? So if you did beam them aboard,
would it still be burned?
Well, but isn't he using their? He's using like their medical files. That's what part of the transporter.
DNA.
So it's like they're making
to find all of like
the bits.
So they got.
But couldn't he also be using it in the way that we know teleporters, transporters have been used before
They
to like
are
make
magic.
a new perfect,
They are magic.
perfect copy?
Yeah, Jetrel basically says to Janeway, "Hey, I've noticed your transporters are fucking magic. Can I use one?"
Yeah.
And then, absolutely shocking me because this is the last like 2 minutes of the episode. Janeway says, "Yeah, go ahead," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I mean, here's the thing. Clearly following up on this would have taken too much time and resources and everything, but giving it a punt, it took 3 minutes. Yeah,
but they tortured somebody for a few seconds.
Well, we don't know.
They didn't look happy.
Yeah, no, they did not.
There's also whatever that thing he created in sickbay was. That
Just a massive organic matter, probably some plants, some
it
people.
wasn't conscious.
Oh, no. It was
was breathing.
It was definitely moving. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy.
It was real creepy.
Never mind, maybe.
Yeah, the whole thing made me think like, if all the atoms are scattered in this ion cloud, it's like breaking several million bottles into shards.
Yeah.
And then having to put them all back together.
Yeah, it's not a great plan.
No.
It had me wondering though, like, and now that I think of it, I don't know that we've seen other civilizations really use transporter technology yet, have we? Is it possible that transporter technology is just not really common in the Delta Quadrant?
In the Delta Quadrant, that's a good point. Because I know, around the Alpha Quadrant, various peoples have used equivalents.
Yeah.
So
fucking Gary 7.
Yeah. But yeah, no, because, Neelix certainly was surprised by it. This guy was surprised by it. The Kazon don't seem to have it. Like...
The Kazon barely have water.
That's true.
They're surprised by anything.
I imagine those weird...
the hedonist planet?
Yeah, but they don't need it because they can just use their
full space
machine.
Yeah,
Gaff,
so they don't.
our friend Gaff.
But yeah, so far at least we haven't run across, I think, anyone in the Delta Quadrant with teleporters.
See, that would have been interesting if they instead of just basically
the Borg.
basically having the Delta Quadrant be a bunch of civilizations that are basically on par with Voyager, if they were just all incredibly primitive in comparison, or just lacked. Maybe not primitive, but lacked essential technologies that Voyager took for granted, and it was just I guess it would be a constant. I was gonna say First Amendment, Prime Directive.
Yeah, because wouldn't they just be Prime Directiving it all up over and over again if that were the case?
See, that's the thing. See, that's the promise of this show that I feel like is kind of missing, is that they should be confronting their Federation ethics more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There should be...
Does it count in this circumstance? Nah.
Well, here's the thing, right? So, Jetrel, clearly his people don't have transporters. Neelix's people apparently don't have transporters. And yet, we're using transporters to try and save them. I mean, that seems kind of...
Yeah, I definitely thought that felt a little borderline. It's
but what's his ass died and...
But if you say it had worked, Jetrel then goes, well, great, can you please give me this tech so I can continue? Because they're not going to sit there and wait and reformat all 300,000 people or whatever.
Well, but he died, so...
Well, yes, but I'm saying is, had he not died, had it worked... what are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
That it does become a Prime Directive issue.
The fact that it didn't work, he died, and literally the very next scene is watching Voyager flying the fuck away.
Yep.
I'm they couldn't have told the Talaxians or told the Harkonnens any of this.
Apparently.
Well, the Harkonnens don't seem to have a real interest in this research. They told Jetrel to take a hike. So
yeah. I think it's interesting that I was thinking just the other day actually, that the one thing that's been lacking is governments that span beyond a single system. Like, the Alpha and Beta Quadrants are lousy with them, you know? But Delta Quadrant, of course, seems to mostly be under... Delta Gamma Quadrant seems to mostly be under the heel of the Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least keeping them happy so they don't conquer you. But the Delta Quadrant seems so far... Like, this is the first indication we've had that there is at least one multi-system government, because Talaxia was taken over by the something order, he called it.
Sure.
But yeah, it seems like we keep running into either cultures that haven't gotten to space yet, like the people of the Burger King planet.
Oh yeah,
the Burger King planet.
Yeah, the bad time travel one with the child, and they all
we
wear
had all the
Oh,
70s
yes.
Burger King
Yeah,
colors.
From time and again.
Yeah, so
Well, have it your way, Janeway.
So like we've had that, and we've had cultures that it's because then you've got say the phage people who like they have warp, they have
Amazing
medicine
medical,
that borders on magic. I imagine they probably have transporters, because they did basically beam Neelix's lungs out of him.
Right.
But yeah, it's been interesting that there have been, like, varying levels of tech, and, like, you know, in all the Trek we've seen before, generally speaking, if you've made it to space, you all kind of have comparable something, you know? Like, if you got warp, you've got transporters, you've got phasers or disruptors, you've got shields, you've got, like... Everyone seems to have gotten everyone else's stuff.
Well, yeah, in the Federation, everybody shares, because that's
right,
the whole point of being in the Federation.
But even outside of it, like, you know, the Romulans have...
Well, they stole it, almost certainly.
Yeah, the Ferengi bought it. But yeah, like, everyone seems to be on a pretty even keel in that part of space. And again, even the Gamma Quadrant, like, they've got teleporters, shields, this, that, and the other things. Some of their stuff's a little better, even. The Delta Quadrant seems to be a real mixed bag of who you're going to see, you know. And again, having made it into... Having warp drive doesn't guarantee you have all the other stuff that we've taken for granted that spacefaring cultures in Star Trek have. Which is more realistic, you know, like... Some people aren't going to come up with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like a Kazon are an interesting example, because they, you know, given that they can't seem to get their hand on water,
those replicators would have been real nice.
Well, also,
but they got warp drive.
They have warp drive. There's so much fucking water in space. There's ice fucking everywhere in space.
Yeah, just grab a comet and melt it.
I guess they haven't figured that one out. But like, they don't have water. They don't have replicators. They apparently, I don't think they have transporters. You know, their ships are not as good as Voyager, which is why, like, Voyager wasn't really threatened by them until their friends were going to show up.
Yeah.
They don't have fucking Paul Mitchell or Tresemme or anything like that. So...
For a minute, it's like, Paul Mitchell. I remember, like,
does he mean Gary Mitchell?
What is that? Oh, I see.
So there's just clearly some technologies that are just out of reach for them.
Yeah. So we're running towards the end. Is there anything else we want to say about this one before we move on?
Last thing, Torres' forehead grew back quickly.
5.
Yeah.
It's not a 5 head. It's
you know what it actually
all
is?
Klingon 4 heads are 5 heads. Let's be real.
Actually, you know what it is? It's not done, but the doctor gave her a little hat. It's like
oh,
she just
God.
puts it on in the morning. Because it's like halfway there and it looks kind of weird.
Oh, no.
It's just like, eh.
I'm horrified by this visual.
Thank you.
Well, we don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
From the last
Yeah,
show.
that's true. It's been a week for us, but for them, it's...
Who knows?
It's unclear, but also, like, it's out of the way to go to Neelix's planet, but still, it doesn't seem to take that long when they've been flying for however long.
Well, we don't know, like, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, you don't know where they picked up Neelix?
Well, we don't know, yeah, in relation to his home world.
True.
You know, I would guess that they were in the neighborhood already because Jetrel found them. And he's probably from a nearby planet.
Oh, that's something we didn't address.
What?
News of them is spreading fast.
Nah.
Because the hedonists heard about them. That's how they found them. I mean, it wasn't just a coincidence. He heard about them. He heard that they had transporters even. Like, I don't... Like, whatever there is in the Delta Quadrant, there is a very strong grapevine.
They got the metaverse.
Oh, dear.
I don't get it.
Just Facebook's new bullshit.
Oh.
All right, well, next up, we are going to end the season on a whimper with Learning Curve.
They didn't know it was going to be the finale.
Slide whistle.
Okay, that makes me feel way the fuck better.
I'll tell you the story when you're done with the synopsis.
Good, because holy shit. In a generic-ass episode, we've decided some Maquis are still being kind of difficult.
That's good. Continuity.
Yeah, it would have nice been peppered
Continuity.
Yeah, it would have been
Also true.
peppered throughout better, but whatever. And here we are, so they decide, hey, let's let Tuvok have a random assortment of Maquis and train them. And somehow, despite being a Vulcan and using logic, it doesn't occur to him that using methods you use on people who, signed up for this shit might not work for people who didn't.
He's unbending, as Neelix notices.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's supposed to, train some people up. At first, they're like, fuck you. Then Chakotay punches a dude. And they're like, I guess we'll do it. And they do a lot of jogging, which I'm not sure how that's supposed to help them learn procedure. Meanwhile, there's a virus spreading among the bioneural gel packs that was caused by a virus that snuck into some cheese Neelix made.
It sounds like a fucking joke episode.
It really does.
It sounds like parts of a TOS episode.
Like, if you described an episode in which Neelix makes cheese and it gets Voyager sick,
Yeah.
I would be like, what episode of fucking
Lower Decks
is this?
Yeah.
Actually, I meant to say, this is sort of Voyager's Lower Decks, because we kind of spend a lot of time with these random Maquis people.
Same writers.
No shit. Well, there we fucking go. So at the end, the plots inevitably overlap. They decide, the best way to fight a cold is with a fever. They burn the ship up, which would be fine, except that Tuvok and his motley crew are stuck in a cargo room.
Whoopsies.
Something explodes, toxic plasma gas is everywhere. Tuvok's like, go, 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 but young boy Bajoran is dying on a parapet. And Tuvok forces everyone else out and goes to save him, and then he nearly dies, but then the other Maquis come back and open the door. It's like, if you can learn to bend the rules, we can learn to follow them. Happy end of season 1.
Well, you missed the most important part is that Janeway was playing her nanny fantasy
Yeah.
in the holodeck again.
Oh my god, and the little kid, the boy was a little
Like,
bastard.
tell us about the little kid, Jake.
Well, I was like, man, that fucking little kid is so fucking familiar, so I had to look him up.
Yeah, the
Me
little
too.
boy kid.
He was also Picard's son in Generations.
Yep.
In the Nexus.
He's actually still acting.
Is he?
Yeah, it's pretty active.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's always nice to see that, when you see a child actor, it's either you want to see that they're still working, or they did some stuff as a kid, and then you just kind of don't hear about it anymore, because you assume maybe they're okay.
Oh, yeah, well, speaking of child actors, I thought, was it Guron or Juron? I think it was Guron. Guron?
Oh,
The Bajoran.
The Bajoran.
I can't remember.
Maquis crew member.
Oh, wasn't it?
I think Garon.
Garon.
Garon. What Jake learned pretty quickly was a famous child actor whom everyone knows and loves.
Oh.
Atreyu!
What?
From fucking Neverending Story?
Yeah, it was Atreyu.
He
Wow.
looked great.
He looked great for a
I
dude
did-
that lost his horse.
Oh, God.
I did not recognize him at all, and I watched that movie all the fucking time as a
The
kid.
thing is, little known fact, he wasn't Bajoran until after Neverending Story.
That'll do it. Because they're under such heavy makeup.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like a decade earlier, though, right? Like, when did that movie come out? Mid-80s?
Yeah. Still, though, he was already a teenager by then. A lot of his facial shape was there. I should have caught it.
Yeah, no, that was...
Okay, so this wasn't supposed to be the finale.
This wasn't supposed to be the finale. The producers basically said, okay, we're only going to have 15 episodes this season if you're counting Caretaker as all one, so we're going to end it right here on Learning Curve. And they're like, oh no, we weren't planning... Because they had 4 more episodes filmed.
Oh.
There are 4 more episodes that, in both books that I'm reading, because they're just listing them in production order, list them in season 1 and not in season 2. Because they were ready to go, and they wanted to end the season on the 37s, which we're going to talk about next week, and would also have been a bad move. But...
definitely, I was sitting there, and of the two, I was like, I don't need every season to end on a cliffhanger. In fact, I hate it when they do that. I don't need every season end even to be a big thing. But this was just so generic. Of the two, I was like, flip these, and I'll be fine. Because the other one, it's like, at least it's a very, it's a big, heavy moral episode. Very Star Trek. End a season that way. Sure. Instead of this.
Yeah, or at least you want to end it with something that's going to set up the next season.
Or
even
that.
if it's not a cliffhanger. DS9 was really good
They
at that.
were.
At not necessarily having 2 or 3 parters, although
Yeah.
they did that an awful fucking lot.
But that's not how they opened the season.
Yeah, they should. I would have expected them to like bring Seska back for something for the finale.
Yeah. Or again, like it doesn't even. I don't even need you to do something like, you know, especially in this day and age of like prestige television, all seasons build up to a massive end of thing. Like whatever. This is episodic. I don't need every season finale to be the Best of Both Worlds Part 1. I would be happy if your season finale was like, let's just do a nice, solid, self-contained episode. Maybe revisit some themes and ideas if we want.
Yeah, let's do Ferengi love songs. Let's do
No, let's not do Ferengi love songs.
Like again, like just swap these two. Jetrel, I would have been like, you know what? Good way to end a season.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very Star Trek kind of episode. A nice metaphor, deep philosophical discussion. So it's good to know that they didn't think this was a good idea for a finale.
Thing, though, right? So when a show is ordered, they order a number of episodes. They don't just say, make us a season of show, and you get to figure out what that means. So the station either ordered 16 episodes or 20 episodes.
This is a brand new network, so they probably have no idea what the hell they were doing.
I'm sure they didn't just like go out in this, you know, in the want ads. I'm sure they hired people that knew how TV worked.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you they ordered 20 and then decided, no, we're going to make it a 16 episode, so that some of this can be saved for budget for next season, because everything they do is budget related.
Yeah, that's true.
Interestingly, there was just weird TV shit that happens springs to mind that like the original very first Gundam series, they like ordered a certain amount of episodes. Then they were like, your ratings suck, we're canceling you. And the production team was like, look, okay, don't give us the full run, but give us like 5 more episodes to wrap everything up. And they were like, fucking fine. So this story suddenly gets very quick. But yeah, occasionally networks just will be like, let's fuck around a little. For one reason or another. Well, certainly this they weren't canceling, so I'm not sure what
it seems
the
weird.
force was here.
And also, you know, this was UPN's flagship show. Like, this was the launch vehicle for that whole channel, so you'd think that they'd want it to be a big...
Launch Starship.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to know what was behind the decision-making in this case.
Yeah, it seems a little
It's
short-sighted.
just dollar signs. I'm certain it's just dollar signs.
No, I get, but I wonder what exactly... What aspect of it was, you know, like, was it just saving money for season 2? Was it like, for some reason, if we stop this now, we're going to make more money on X or Y?
It's a producer's thing. We make more money with a flop.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's why they made Enterprise.
Anywho, so on the merits of this episode itself, so I know
forgettable as fuck.
It's very forgettable, and I know I've often talked about, man, I really want to see more like Maquis Starfleet conflict stuff. This is not what I want.
No, not like this.
Not like this.
Not like this.
I liked our new friend Chell. He was fun.
You're right, like the whole.
Wow, you like Chell.
I liked Chell.
But
that
he was
is a
so
surprise.
obviously just a slapsticky dick.
How can you not like
He's
a
a
Bolian?
Bolian. There's no way not
Bolians
to
are just
like
nice
a
guys.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against him. I'm just surprised you liked him. He's got his fucking homemade medallion.
I think so much of it was just watching him try to run around and just picking at what points did he just pass out.
Almost like there is like, unless Bolian physiology, it's probably very different from human physiology, but there is no way.
Where's their heart?
A human being in his shape did 10 kilometers.
No, God, no.
He would have been dead.
With no ramp up either. It's like, today we're running 10Ks. Because I know, like, friends of mine have done, like, you know, the Couch to 5K program, which is you'll be able to run a 5K at the end of several months of doing a little bit at a fucking time.
Well, also, it's like, it's not just run 10K, it was run 10K after having climbed up and down the Jeffries tubes all morning.
Wearing a 100-pound backpack.
P.S. I'm fucked with the gravity.
With 10% additional gravity turned on.
And
this is some horseshit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, plus, you know, and it's like, you know, Caitlin said, well, he's not willing to put him through anything else he's not willing to do. It's like, yeah, but he's a Vulcan. They are naturally, like, I mean, we don't know
how many eyelids Bolians have.
Like, yeah. So we got 4 people. We got 2.
I made a joke about his eyelids when he was like trying to save Jetrel or whatever his name is at the end. I was like, well, thankfully his extra eyelids are saving him from toxic gas.
Yeah, so we've got 2 presumed humans. Because,
Yep.
Star Trek does have alien races that just look exactly... But we assume the two that look human are human.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Bajoran, which, as far as I know from DS9, they seem to be pretty much on par with humans in most things.
They're more badass.
A little sassier, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's more a cultural thing than a...
Yeah, I don't think they're more physically...
Yeah, anything... Adept. Either way. In Bowlings, we have no fucking clue. But a Vulcan we know is stronger than the average human, probably has higher stamina, definitely needs less sleep. Like I'm sure it was harder for him than it would be, but it's also still not, I think, hard for him in the way it was for a human.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it was hard for Tuvok in the sense that he was getting a massive erection torturing these people.
Yeah. Again, you're logical. They're already chafing under the bit. You don't treat them like you do people who spent their lives dreaming of joining Starfleet. That's why it's different, asshole. They don't want... Not only do they not want to be here, most of them actively joined a group whose existence partially is kind of fuck you.
I'm surprised Seska didn't take a bunch of these people with her.
Seriously.
I
mean, see,
maybe she did.
I think it would have been a great season finale and a great twist on this episode.
Best of both worlds. Oh, wait, go on.
They're not just insubordinate pissants. They are actively plotting...
sabotaging?
Some kind of a mutiny or something.
Okay.
And
Seska was doing.
Maybe we find out that she didn't take anyone with her, but she left some folks behind that she's been in touch with.
See, here's the thing. Maybe you could even start it with, Tuvok trying to do the let's get you into shape routine. And then they're like, man, this is fucked up. Let's kill Tuvok and take over the ship.
And it's again, he's just supposed to be teaching them about Starfleet protocol. What does this run serve?
It teaches them to listen to everything Tuvok says.
That's what I said.
Or you're gonna have to run more.
That's
exactly what I said.
He's just...
Or he's gonna turn the gravity up even higher.
Again, he's applying the complete... To see him just hold the idiot ball for so long in this episode, because it's again, he's a Vulcan. He should logic it through and be alright, standard... We're trying to get them to sort of match our style, but... Again, anyone who's in Starfleet Academy, you're gonna really want to be there. These tactics aren't gonna work.
I liked, it's stunning that right now, Neelix is actually a very good character so far. Because he fucking schools Tuvok on the whole philosophy of, how different people do things different ways. And Tuvok didn't realize that.
Which he should know.
And the line, God, I love this line. No, Mr. Vulcan, I'm saying that you are rigid and inflexible. Excellent.
Yeah.
I just don't like that he calls him Mr. Vulcan. It makes me want to kind of slap him.
Well, it's because when he first met him, he thought it was his surname, and he's had trouble shaking that.
I know, but it doesn't make me like it anymore.
No, that's fair.
I gotta say, I was really upset that Tuvok was a hard-on about the Bajoran earring.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Ditto.
There have been numerous instances. There was one thing where Riker was a hard-ass to Rolaren about it, but then by the end of the episode, oh, you can do it. It's cool.
It's also a cultural thing.
It's
not just, I'm wearing something fancy today.
Has been wearing his fucking sash for 20 years.
Yep.
And it's fucking racist.
Yep.
It's fucked up, Tuvok. Eat shit.
Well,
the weird necklace thing, fine. That was just some bullshit he made in arts and crafts. But
also, we've seen Ro also wear a headband.
That's well, that was a regulation.
Oh,
headband.
it was a Federation headband.
It matched her uniform, so it was. It really is the same shade of red. So that is because he didn't say you couldn't wear headbands. He just said hers was outside of regs.
Also, I was surprised that Tuvok didn't give the main guy the
Dalby.
Yeah, there we go.
He didn't give him shit for having a stretched out collar. I was looking at that; it annoyed me the whole fucking episode. Everyone's got these really nice tight turtlenecks, and his is drooping like a fucking wizard sleeve.
He stretched it out with his fat neck.
Yeah,
remember that? Wasn't there an ad for stretched out V-neck?
Oh, it was
kind of shitty.
It was a Fruit of the Looms campaign.
Is that what it was?
That one comedian and Michael Jordan. They called it Bacon Neck.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I don't think, but I'll take what you say.
Honestly, I didn't notice that, but I am also not an uptight Vulcan.
Yeah, well, that bothered. I thought for sure Tuvok was going to get to him because he was last in line and be like, Mr. Dilby, your fucking neck hole, you rammed your giant fucking melon through that fucking turtleneck and ruined it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if that came because obviously it's just like he's an extra. He's a
they
guest
just
star,
got something off the rack,
and it's like, we have to pretend this isn't an issue.
Yeah.
Even though they know full well, it would be an issue.
It's like everybody else got this perfectly taut turtleneck, and this one guy is just like.
Speaking of extras, Tuvok said he cleared Deck 13 for the run. We saw at least 3 extras that they nearly slammed into once they were on Deck 13.
Well, he cleared it at the beginning, but how many hours did it take poor Chell to run a 10K?
I suppose that's true.
They needed to get some work done.
3 days later.
The show it made me think, the show has this weird fascination with extras that the other ones don't seem to, where it's like, they frequently have, like, noticeable extras where they really shouldn't be. Like, it's one thing, like, there was an episode a few weeks ago I forgot to mention, I forget which one, like, during a really climactic part, they had an extra walk past the camera, like, between, quote-unquote, the viewer and Harry Kim, who was delivering a line. And it was just like, who decided that was a good idea?
It shows you that people are in the middle of doing their jobs.
That's a director call, probably.
No, I know, but the more I thought about it, like, I find there have been multiple times where I've been really aware of the extras in this show in a way that I'm not in other shows, including other treks.
I definitely agree, because you bring it up every time it happens. You're like, oh shit, look, that girl looks like Mary Tyler Moore.
Well,
Tyler Moore hair or whatever.
That was me being weird about hair. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed her, and that would have been a perfectly acceptable, normal Star Trek in the background
saying,
extra.
I feel like you bring them up a lot these days.
I keep noticing them for some reason. I think part of it is, again, like, just... Well, again, they said, like, I will clear the deck. Why are people there? And are any of them there? Like, God, I feel sluggish today. What's going on? But again, there were I can't think of other specific examples, but there have been many times where I've just been like, was that necessary? Why is that person there?
I know what this episode was missing. There should have been a scene in the cargo bay where, we have the four misfits and Tuvok. And then the Misfits just start singing, Doe, a deer, a female deer.
I thought you were going to say what this episode was missing was fire belching from the walls.
It was the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, from Do.
That would have been pretty. What really annoyed me with that was when they were first locked in, the show was already treating it like, oh, fuck, they're in danger. It's like, no, they're locked in a room. Like, I was just like, I'm sure something's going to happen eventually, but right now, they're just locked in a room. Let's calm down, soundtrack. And, like, slow pan in.
I'm glad you brought up the Misfits, though, because fucking the fat Bolian didn't get turned into a bitch like Patrick did.
That's true.
Where was his bitch tits?
You should. I mean, they were wearing unflattering pajamas most of the time, but
based on that,
the cadet uniform looking things.
Based on his medallion, I like to imagine that when he's off duty, the Bolian wears like Bones in TMP style disco outfits.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a swinger. I'm pretty sure.
With a little bit of chest hair sticking out.
Actually, does he have chest hair? Because he's bald.
That's a good question.
Like, do they have any hair?
They have fins.
I actually...
Maybe they have feathers and hair
there you
the
go.
Same place.
Like those fucking assholes from Next
Which makes evolutionary sense, obviously.
I looked him up because I thought maybe I knew him, but I didn't. Well, I mean, I have, it turns out, seen some stuff of his, but just a character actor with a career as long as your arm, but nothing major, except he was Chief Quimby.
Burn, jeez.
Chief Well, I mean, I guess I should say nothing like... Very few in the way, like, he's a one-off character in a shitload of things.
Okay.
And apparently we're going to see him again in Season 7 as this character.
Yay! Oh, that's fun!
But,
continuity!
Yeah. But as far as, like, he's very rarely, like, regular cast of things, except for, he's Canadian, so a Canadian sitcom called Little Mosque on the Prairie. And, something I was familiar with...
Sounds like it's going to get racist real fast.
No, the creators were actually...
okay.
Yeah, so I think...
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually sounds kind of interesting as a concept. But anyway, but what I knew him from, without realizing it, again, this wasn't a visual thing, was he was Chief Quimby in the Netflix Inspector Gadget.
There you go. Inspector Gadget.
So yeah, cheese making stuff sick. What the fuck.
They don't even get to have the macaroni and cheese
It would
afterwards.
have been terrible, let's be honest.
Yeah, if the cheese had enough fucking nasty shit in it that it made the ship sick,
Yeah.
it's not going to do anything good for anybody's intestines.
Also, the first time we saw the cheese, it was not cheese.
It must be. There's different styles of cheese, though.
No,
There's
but this was clearly half a head of lettuce. You could see the, little barb where they'd taken it off a stem.
Really?
Yeah, you know how when you have a head of lettuce, look at the bottom, it's got that little brown circle?
Sure.
Because when he first
That's
picked
the
it up...
areola of the lettuce.
When he first picked it up, before Tuvok said what it was, I said, here, have half a head of lettuce. And then Tuvok goes, what is that? He's like, oh, it's cheese. And I was like, fuck you, no, I can see the stem. That is half a head of lettuce.
Didn't he also call it, grilled cheese?
Brill cheese.
Oh, grilled cheese. Because at first he was like, yeah, somebody wanted grilled cheese. And I was like, bitch, that is not grilled cheese.
But yeah,
so I thought he was just making a wacky Neelix mistake about what someone wanted when they
macaroni
said
and cheese.
Yeah, that is what they asked for.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but still, it's not.
But
Yeah, no, that was wrong.
But I like the idea that they're like, all right, so we've got this unique tech, and it's going to have unique problems.
The biomedical...
neural gel packs.
Yeah, the gel pack.
And so the idea that, you've got to use, both engineering and sickbay to kind of get to the bottom of this. That's really good. The execution, though, just feels so...
Get the cheese to sickbay. Yeah. Imagine delivering that line with the straight a face as she did.
Yeah.
I mean...
I just feel like I love this idea. I just wish it had been in a better episode.
It was nice to remind us about the bio-neural gel
packs.
sugars.
I also feel like the Doctor should have been more concerned. Because technically speaking, this is him dying.
Yeah, I was thinking about, at what point does the EMH stop working?
Yeah, because a lot of stuff was breaking down. They should have been like, fuck, how long can we keep him online if these keep crapping out? Because he's kind of our hope here. But that never came up either. Because again, this was almost the B plot, even though it seems like the more important one.
I mean, it was definitely the B plot, because there was whole chunks of the episode where we didn't get a whiff of it.
Of cheese?
Yeah. A whiff of that cheese.
Yeah. And then, in the end, it became the main thing, but...
It was cute when EMH was practicing his bedside manner
that
on the bio-neural gel pack, though.
That was,
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the bio-neural gel pack being vulnerable to something.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting concept.
I think it was stupid that it was cheese.
Oh, yeah.
And, it just felt like it was a disservice to that plot to make it just play second fiddle to this goofy
bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, you do boot camp with this
lazy...
They made it goofy, though, by making it Neelix killing everybody with his shitty food.
Well, yeah.
Also, how does your... I don't know. How does your ventilation get into your computer system like that? You really think they'd be like...
Space Legionnaires?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And
also,
all these ships get it.
Here's a question. When everyone's getting, roasted to death...
I thought you meant, being made fun of in front of everyone for comedic purposes.
No. Like Brussels sprouts. I get that they're schwitzy, but what's causing Janeway's hair to slip out of place? They're not getting shaken around.
No, the humidity. It's just making her hair puff out. That's what happens to hair.
But would, individual strands start dropping like that?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. I retract my complaint.
Because humidity, makes your hair, poofy, so it might have just, slipped out. Okay. I think it's feasible.
Okay, no, I mean, hey, I've always had short hair, so...
Yeah, plus for all I know, she's been rubbing her brow to get the sweat off. She's probably been fussing.
I think it's as a person who once had very long hair, I find it not entirely unreasonable that this may have happened.
So here's a question: is the Voyager Team Pfizer, Moderna, or J&J?
Janeway and Janeway.
Fucking Kess looked like a drowned rat by the end of that sequence.
Yeah, she took to the heat worse than anybody.
Yeah,
it's that wig.
Well, she lived in a very temperature-controlled environment for most of her life, so her body's not used to sudden changes like that. Doesn't adapt well.
Remind me, there was a point where something was happening, and I didn't write down what, but they were ready to be like, it's probably the dreaded Ferengi again. They're known for playing dead in space and then attacking you.
Yeah, and there's pseudo Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, there was a Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, they're known. Yeah, suddenly the Ferengi are. It's like we're well past anyone caring about the Ferengi. What's going on?
They've just since they're now friendly with the Klingons, they had to update the Kobayashi Maru test.
Oh, no, I get that. But, like, they need to update it again, because...
I don't know. The Ferengi, we can be friends with the Ferengi and still know
Yeah,
they're
but
untrustworthy
remember,
as
go
fuck.
back to early TNG, and the Ferengi were thought of as a proper threat.
No, I know.
Because of them whips and all that hissing and all that weird frog posturing. Oh no, they're doing Thriller and they have electric whips. We're doomed.
Yeah, I don't miss that version at all.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering. Yeah, so we're probably
God, and they're wearing
the next
like,
update will
leather
probably
pants,
be
too.
like the Borg and
Yeah, that's a good one.
Somebody
But
else.
with the Borg, you can just shoot them. We know this now. You can just shoot them with an actual gun. And
That's true.
There's probably a period where it was the Dominion.
I want to see the Borg doing Thriller.
I'm willing to bet some fans have done that.
It would have been fucking awkward if the Kobayashi Maru was like, "Oh, we have to rescue a Cardassian transport," and then they get attacked by the Maquis.
Womp womp.
They all just look over at Tuvok like, really big?
It was a random program. I didn't plan this.
I also love that he basically just rewrote the Kobayashi Maru and acted like it was his idea.
I love that the answer was retreat.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's also the answer to the Kobayashi Maru.
It might be. Sure.
So,
Well, because we've learned this week that sometimes the best strategy is to call a safety. That was the rule. That was what we learned from Poole
There
as
it
well.
is.
So
There we go. That's the
Everyone
episode. Call a safety.
Jump in the pool.
wish we could run away from this episode.
God, here was something that was terrible. Yep, had a girlfriend, then she was raped and murdered. Like, wow!
Yeah, some Cardassians.
Whoa, okay, that's a change of tone.
Your story escalated quickly.
What is it? Oh my god.
Yeah.
We've been watching this series called Pitch Meeting on YouTube.
Oh, I love pitch meeting.
Okay, so you know when he says something really dark happens in the plot and the producer goes, "Oh my god."
Yes.
He
So
always delivers that so well.
His delivery of everything is excellent. I've shown Jake some pitch meeting before.
Oh.
I shared on our Facebook all the pitch meetings for Star Wars.
Oh, fuck, how did I miss that? Well,
I have
They're
not.
Excellent.
It's
I
my
have not been
favorite
getting-
thing in the whole fucking internet right now is Pitch Meeting. I love the guy. I love everything he says. I love wow. I love whoopsie. I love it
I know
all.
he's got some Star Trek ones too that we'll have to share someday.
That could be an extra thing sometime. We could see which pitch meetings are best.
But
10 years from now, we're running out of other content.
yeah, I don't know about you, but like I am getting maybe half of my notifications on Facebook these days, and I get none from our page.
Weird.
You have to hit the bell.
I thought that was a YouTube thing.
Smash the bell. Subscribe, like, smash that bell.
Is Seth?
But yeah,
Is
that's
Seth
how I
here?
missed those. 'Cause, yeah, they just started popping up on my YouTube, and I was like, "What the fuck are these?" And then I finally watched one, and I've been hooked ever since. They are terrific.
Yeah, it almost makes me want to watch because I don't watch Marvel movies. I give exactly zero shits about superhero bullshit. But it means I don't get to watch the pitch meetings.
You can still watch them.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't want to.
I've
I
watched-
don't get the jokes.
You would probably learn more about the films than by watching the films.
Honestly,
That makes sense.
I've watched pitch meetings for movies I've not seen
Same.
that I don't care about getting spoiled,
Same.
and they still work.
Okay.
Same.
And in fact, the first one I watched was the pitch meeting for the new terrible Home Alone, which
Oh my god, which looks fucking
it turns out
awful.
it's even worse than the trailer makes it look.
Is this with French Stewart? What is
No,
this?
there's a new
No, that's
one.
Inspector
Oh.
Gadget. No, wait.
There was
there
a Home Alone with French Stewart, yes.
I remember seeing an ad for it.
Why does French Stewart have to fucking ruin everything?
because he's cheaper than any other
He was
actors
good
that
in
you get.
Third Rock.
Well, that's right. I was talking about him, I think, because I was talking about
that's
Home Alone.
because he was playing French Stewart in that show.
Well, that's what I said to
He
someone.
was
Like,
in the original Stargate film.
He was?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
was
that must be
was
weird.
it terrible?
No, well, you know,
Don't lie.
I like the original.
it's a good
Stargate
film. It's just
He's
the show
not
is way
good.
better.
Yeah, no, I was saying to someone the other day, literally, like, French Stewart existed just for Third Rock from the Sun. He should have then been put into cryostasis for when humanity needed him again someday.
For when
never.
we do another Third Rock
Yeah.
from the Sun. Like,
In 30 years, everyone else is new, but they unseal French Stewart's like, French, it's time. Anyway, this
My
is
name's French.
a lengthy
Yeah.
tangent
Has
that we
anybody
will
seen
likely
the,
cut. So.
The Ghostbusters?
Why are you bringing this up, Jake? Don't tease Chris.
I have not watched it yet. I probably will. Although I've had people who I trust say basically, yeah, no, it's exactly what it looks like from the
It
trailer.
looks pretty bad.
Yeah, no,
Sure
it
does.
is a very cynically calculated nostalgia fest cash grab. Anyway, let's give a nice little
Cut all that.
Yeah, because this is mostly...
One last thought about this episode.
Oh my god, an actual thought about this episode?
It's a damn good thing that Seska's no longer on the ship, or got found out, because when they did the turn up the heat thing to kill the bacteria, or kill the virus, everyone else would be sweating and like all hot, and she'd just be like,
the lizard on the rock
right.
thing.
nice.
Like Garrett
I forgot she was a secret Bajoran.
And then she was
Cardassian.
Then they would have found her out.
Yeah. She's like running to the bathroom to throw water on her face. Fuck.
Oh,
fuck.
it's so hot in here,
We didn't
guys.
make this through.
Oh, please.
That's the thing, though. You think, like, actually, really, when you think about it, the heat really shouldn't have even bothered Tuvok as much. He's from a fucking desert planet.
I don't know if he was bothered by the heat so much as the poison gas.
No, but even before then, he was schwitzing a little, you know?
Oh.
Like, you really think he would have taken longer to schwitz than everyone?
Listen,
We're saying Schwitz now, huh?
Apparently.
Interesting.
Getting splicked now for cheese. My last note I wanted to bring up. Chakotay comes over and does the turn the chair around and get into the let's rap position.
Oh, yeah.
And then he immediately turns that into the let's punch position.
You know, that did strike me a little...
In the face.
Not as hard as it struck that guy.
I feel like you shouldn't be striking your subordinates on the ship.
I feel like that's
Well, that's the Maquis way, apparently.
But see, I don't feel like that actually is. This is the first time you've had any indication where they run their ship like pirates.
Yeah.
Like, up until now, the whole thing seems when they really like Tuvok, because he's like... Chakotay, because he's like their buddy. Not, I punch you.
Was it mentioned in this episode, or did I just read that the Maquis ship that they were all on was called the Valjean?
No.
Oh,
Fucking no.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
But wait a minute. This predates Eddington?
It's probably a retcon.
Wait, what?
Does it predate Eddington?
Eddington's later in DS9, right?
He showed up right around start of season 3.
But we don't learn. But he doesn't do his Les Miserables thing.
No.
Until way late. I wonder if, because I just read on Memory Alpha that these were people from the Valjean, and I forget if they said it in this episode.
I don't remember.
Maybe it's revealed
I
later.
really hope it's a retcon.
It may even just be like beta canon, right? It might not be on screen.
I don't know. I have a Valjean on timelines, so I'm pretty sure.
Fuck me, right in the fucking eyelid. Jesus Christ!
Wow. Wow. I mean, I love Eddington, but
I know.
I could do without the way too much.
The constant Les Miserables.
You know, I bet you Chakotay and Eddington knew each other, and Chakotay fucking hated that guy.
For a second, I thought you were going to say that they fucked. Because you were just like, I bet he knew him, and I was like, yeah,
They fucking went at it.
Or they were best buddies, and we get shit-faced and do duets of One Day More.
See, I can watch. See, Eddington seems like the kind of guy that would like sniff Balana and shit. So.
No.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking creep.
He has an awesome wife.
Yeah.
It feels like
no fault of his own.
If he was gonna sniff anyone, it was Cisco.
He sniffed Cisco's chair for sure.
Do you think he was hanging out with Barclay at some point?
He'd just like sneak onto the bridge of the Defiant, be like, "Oh, Worf was here."
And we've lost Ames. Perhaps understandably.
I wanted to grab this.
That's fair.
Speaking of things that stink, let's move on.
No, I gotta keep all that in.
Oh no!
Yay!
Damn it, Ames.
Today, the art wins.
All right, moving on. Unless there was anything else anyone wanted to say about whatever this movie was.
Nah.
Show, movie, Maquis thing. No blog activity this week because it is our season wrap day.
Oh shit.
Season 1, as we mentioned, shorter than any of the other seasons.
Too short a season.
Until New Trek has like only 8 episodes a season kind of thing. But it means that we are doing our patented top and bottom 3 of each season, as we are wont to do. Tough choices, too, because I also noticed on IMDb they're all very, very clumped together. In that they're all within, like, a point of each other, basically.
Yeah, I guess for me, that's the thing, is, like, there wasn't a ton in the way of standouts. Like,
Right.
there was a lot of going through the list, just like, yeah, that was fine. That was fine.
Yeah,
That was fine.
yeah.
That was fine. That was fine.
And there was only one that I'd call bad. Like,
Yeah.
like considering, like, I know people shit on Voyager. way more than they probably fucking should.
Oh, yeah.
Assholes on the internet. But this is actually, like, a very decent season. It has a lot of the Star Trek themes that we know and love. It has a lot of great stuff. It's got James Sloy on being awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if the worst you can say about some of these episodes, as I think, Jake has put it, is, like, it feels like they picked up some unproduced TNGs and swapped the names. Like, that's fine. As long as it's not season 1 TNG.
Yeah, and I also, it'll also come more into its own, because, they're learning the characters still, they're learning their situation.
Right.
I think the episodes that are specifically about their situation can be more interesting than just a generic sci-fi story.
Yeah.
But there's also some good generic sci-fi stories, as I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, and, and like you said, we were talking about this a few weeks ago, where, like, they were writing episodes for this season before they had a cast. Going into season 2, they're going to know who the people are. They're going to know who their strengths are. They're going to know who works well with each other.
They're not going to lose another Janeway.
Yeah. So, who wants to kick it off?
I can kick it off, because I'm going to actually start with Tops. Ha ha! It's my show now, Chris.
Bitch.
I was actually going to ask if you wanted to, since we're on the season you outro. So.
I do want to start with Tops, because also Tops, I think... I mean, they're both tough answers, but I also think... there weren't a lot of bottoms, so I think that's going to be the harder decision.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So we'll cover that second. But in covering tops first, here's my tops. Wow, my tops are very Neelix heavy, which is hilarious, because I'm going to give my top 3 of the season to Jetrel, which we talked about today, which was a very complex Hiroshima allegory. Phage, which was just some excellent Neelix work in that, what is your life if you're confined to a table without your lungs?
Yep.
And who are these Vidians? Oh my fucking god. But also, my number 1 of the season is going to be very predictable, because I really liked Eye of the Needle, the one with our doomed Romulan friend.
Nice. Caleb?
So agreed with Eye of the Needle and Jetrel.
Are these in any particular order, or?
I feel like Eye of the Needle and Jetrel are, like, sort of tied for first. Or, like, I guess in that sense, tied for second.
Yeah. No, they'll be tied for first. They would both get, unless there's another one that's actually first.
No, it's definitely not. I think it's actually probably a very unexpected one that I've put, because I just remember really enjoying it. But, I put Heroes and Demons in my top.
Nice! That was another one I liked.
Because I really liked seeing the MH kind of come into his own, and I really liked... Like, I know it was goofy. It was a goofy episode, but I really I enjoyed the goofy it was giving me.
It was a good goof.
Yeah, I liked the goof.
And
I loved the lady, Freya, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I thought she was awesome and hot. So...
Schweitzer.
So yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Eye of the Needle was great because it was just so goddamn tragic the whole time. And Jetrel really, like, knocked me for a loop because while we were watching it, I was like, okay, so, like, I was, like, arms crossed, like, okay, so this guy is, like, obviously faking it because he's there to finish what he started or something. And then I was like, oh, no, okay, so that's not it. Maybe he really is sincere and, like, he just wants to help. And then I was like, oh, no, but he's got it, too, so he wants to fix his own shit. Oh, no, like, I don't know. I just felt like I made a lot of assumptions and I just kept being wrong over and over again. So, I don't know, I liked it. It kept me on my toes.
Okay.
Okay, Jay.
All right.
Okay,
well, I'm going to surprise no one with Eye of the Needle. I'm also going to put Jetrel on my list.
Woo!
And I had like a 3-way tie for third. I'm just gonna make it. I wrote them all 3 down. I'm gonna just call it now. I'm gonna give it to Faces.
Oh, nice.
Honorable mention to Faces for me too. That was a great episode.
Good Taurus stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Taurus stuff.
This is got a lot of overlap. For me, number 3, Heroes and Demons.
Woo!
Just good fun times. Doctor with a sword. Kinds of weirdness. Number 2, Phage.
Nice.
Great
episode. Again, like, wow, just what a horrible existence that would have been. And wow, the Vidians are monsters.
Wow, I feel for Neelix. After the internet has told me not to.
Yeah, the internet can be very wrong. Number 1, Jetrel.
Oh, word. Yeah, some good stuff this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's really interesting because they were like, I feel like, for me anyway, Eye of the Needle was like a cut above, and then everything else was like, there was like a lot of stuff in that upper mid-range.
You saw, because I have the list of the IMDb ratings in a spreadsheet, and they're all literally, they're color-coded because, hello, I'm Ames, it's what I do. they're all literally like the orangey yellow color in my ratings, and like the one outlier that's green is Eye of the Needle.
Yeah, that was my take. Like there were a lot of like decent episodes this season, which is why it was so hard to pick my tops.
Yeah, like Eye of the Needle was definitely in contention. It was like basically that and Heroes and Demons were kind of vying for third.
Well, I'm glad they're both on the list because they're both really good.
So, what shat its pants this season?
What shat its pants? I think only one episode shat its pants.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think there were a bunch of others, and I basically have to coin flip one of them as well. Just on things that didn't work as well, or like a bad idea that they didn't capitalize on, or this, that, and the other thing. I mean, the obvious answer for like the worst one is Ex Post Facto.
God.
I mean, obvious fucking.
Or like sex post shit show.
More like we shouldn't still have Paris.
Fuck! Why didn't we say that at the time?
Oh, I don't know. I have said it now. Just it's bad noir. The dog reveal was just unheard of. The alien's makeup was awful.
Oh my god, the worst.
All the different, like, oh, we're doing a mystery thing, and now Tuvok is Poirot, and god damn it, that one's not good.
No.
The other two, which in any other season I wouldn't even fucking mention, because they're not that bad. I'm gonna give to Prime Factors, just because the hedonist guy was a creep.
Big creep.
Didn't care for him.
Creepy vibes.
They could have done better with that episode. I don't know. I literally have no good reason for not liking it. Just I didn't like it as much as others. But also I'm going to give some shit to State of Flux. The one where we learn that Seska's a Cardassian and she's been the one dealing replicators around. Just because they never gave us a good sense of suspense or tension because we always knew it was Seska. That was never a mystery. It was like, this is obviously going to be
That's
Seska.
a good point.
We were sort of waiting for her to be a red herring, and it just never came. It was like,
Exactly.
nope, it's definitely just her.
They failed with the red herring test.
They did.
They should have brought in Red Herring from a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Whoa, boy. Ho ho.
How about you, Cats?
Ex Post Facto.
Shocking.
Yep. Learning Curve, because it was just so fucking boring.
Fair.
And I put down Cathexis, and I don't really know why. I think I was just rereading the...
That was the one with...
Did you not like the healing wheel?
Oh, yes, that is why. That's exactly what it was. It was like the blatant, like... Because the season had a lot of, like, shitty, racist, Native American fucking nonsense, and this one was really bad.
Yeah. I will say, because I was thinking about Cathexis, but I did like that they did a twist at the end in which the alien entity was Chakotay and not evil at all.
Yeah.
That, I thought, gave it a couple extra points.
Cathexis was one of my tops. It was one of the ones I had to decide, because I actually really liked that show. Notwithstanding the medicine wheel, but the rest of it I liked.
What didn't you like?
I liked that Chakotay wasn't really in it at all. That was pretty tight.
It's a shame, because I do like Robert Beltran.
All right.
Yeah.
So my bottoms are, surprising no one, Ex Post Facto, Learning Curve, because, I mean, again, it wasn't like an offensive episode, it was just a, why?
Yeah.
And like, it's just, I didn't care for it. And The Cloud. The stupid fucking Cloud.
The Cloud is the one with the lowest rating on IMDb, and that
Is it
surprised
really?
me, because I found it so inoffensive.
It's not that it's offensive, it's just,
Yeah.
it's sort of in the same category with
It is
Learning
stretched.
Curve.
I remember it being the one that was really stretched.
Which
Yeah.
one was this again? What's
Where
the
they had
cloud?
to suture a cloud because they stole coffee from its nebula.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay,
also
the Coffee Nebula one.
But also, Michael Piller realized halfway through writing the script there wasn't enough plot, so he had to do a lot of character moments.
Yeah.
Janeway saw a gecko.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh God, I need to rewrite my list.
What?
That also had the,
Janeway found her animal guide.
Oh, ew.
was that also the one?
It's the one where we first went to Sandrine's.
Mm-hmm. A lot of random bullshit
I'm trying to
happened.
remember
It
what
was a
else.
lot of filler. It was very fillery.
Yeah.
It's not the same one with Ilana. And Jane.
Oh, no.
No, that's the
That's,
one right. That's
Which one's that?
that was Parallax.
Parallax,
Yeah.
where they're that's another
we
one
just
where,
become best
where
friends?
where they're stuck in the in another situation.
Yeah. So, my bottoms. Time and Again.
Oh, I like Time and Again.
For me, it was just like...
The little boy.
That's a big part of it, not gonna lie.
Boy.
I fucking hated that kid. And, like, the fact that a lot of the time travel really didn't make sense, but this time... Like, we talked about it at the time,
When
like...
does it?
No, I know, but, like, I don't know. It was particularly egregious this time, I felt like, and... Yeah, I know, I think most of it's the kid, I'm not gonna lie. Fucking...
Child.
He was awful. And the fucking Burger King costumes. And the fact that their clocks used Arabic numerals for some reason. Like, really?
We see that everywhere,
fuck?
though.
I know, that was really blatant. There's no reason for them to have... Anyway. 2, learning curve. Just deeply forgettable. And, again, just felt like I'd rather watch Lower Decks. It's a better episode with similar-ish kind of ideas.
And there's actual stakes in that one.
Yeah. And you like the characters, and... I think Jake made a good point. And I wasn't thinking this at the time, but what reinforced my belief, just the idea that, like, to have wasted the idea of the ship getting ill in this and doing it that way.
Yeah.
Again, though, these are both just, like, not actively bad so much as just, like, actively bad, ex post facto.
Oh, yeah, accurate. Tell us how much you hated that dog's haircut.
Honestly, I was still just too busy being offended by the...
Everybody else's haircuts.
Oh, the featherheads.
I mean, yes, the dog looked like it had fucking mange, I believe I said in the episode, but no one had good hair in that episode that was from that planet. And one of your 2 main villains didn't have a name.
You'd only have good hair if you were going bald.
Yeah, seriously. Ugh, terrible episode.
Yeah, not good. We have another season, and hopefully there's more good stuff in season 2. We're going to be covering that next week.
Woo!
So get ready next week. Oh, no, that's right. There aren't going to be good ones next week. Next week we're covering the 37s, which you'll see why I'm perturbed when we discuss it. And I don't remember Initiations, but we're covering that one next week as well.
Okay.
So that's going to be more Voyager Season 2, doing the thing. In the meantime, check out this whole list of Season 1 episodes we were just discussing.
Yep.
Voyagering. On our Tumblr, sshbpodcast.com, or tumblr.com/sshbpodcast. You can see the screen grabs of these episodes and, like, think about which ones you hated and liked. There weren't many. Good luck.
I just can't wait to see what screen grabs you make. That's like my favorite part of this whole
Aww.
exercise is seeing what Ames grabs.
Yay. Will be fun. Yeah, so you can also check us out on the Facebook, on the Twitter, all over the internets. You can listen
MySpace.
Seriously. You can listen to the other 240 episodes that we've released up on our SoundCloud.
No, more than that, really.
Yeah, and all in our 10 Forwards and our other series that we've discussed in the past. God, we have so much content.
Basically 4,000 episodes.
It's a lot of episodes. I'm shocked how many episodes we've gotten through. In only 5 years.
As of right now...
Yeah.
And this is with several we've recorded, not up yet. Our total is 274 episodes.
Wow.
With our most recent actual posting being episode 237. So we have nearly 40 episodes of Shore Leave and 10 Forwards.
Yeah, that sounds right. So check us out there. Check us out on the Google one, the Apple one. Give us 5 stars. We love 5 stars. And we will talk about this next week. See you then. This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This has been Jake.
And this is always Chris.
All right, we're going to start our 10K now, guys. I'm turning up the gravity.